like to say, but who knows, maybe it's not. Okay, let's start up the stream. Ba-ba-bum. Okay, awesome. Please adjust silent until the dog and the cat are friends. Ooh, confirm. Please adjust silent until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Yes, occubuncual. Yeah, this one. Um, yes. 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 Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Yes. I am a fox. Help. Yes. Uh, yes, I will come back to visit you, buddy. That was an interesting conversation to have, but yeah. With the settings menu, especially. So, yeah, apparently we have to. Sorry, chat, the game becomes a bit loud.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, let's go up, go down, then reset it back to where it's supposed to be. Let's go to 85 real quick. $50. Boom. Controls. let's begin the game. So there's few trophies in the game that I can actually get, and I really do want to get in the game. So I think this is gonna be a very interesting stream. And yes, you'll get to see me continue to my chaos in Stanley Parable 2. I don't think I'll be playing Stanley Parable 2 this whole time, but hey, trophy earned, welcome back. Awesome.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay, dude, chill. I got a trophy for logging back in, so that trophy is done. Okay, let's can I phone? Do you wanna? Okay, there you go. And let's head here. This is for quit and start the game again, so we can tick that off the list. Boom. Now we have to do test 88888 and like a speedrun trophy. This part. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is about though. Kind of curious.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Okay, Mr. Now Waiter Man. Sure.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
What's that supposed to mean?
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember? Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the warehouse. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Okay.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we
Well,
didn't.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Okay. That didn't happen, but sure.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
How you found it? By the narrator. Bro, of course you'd shittily me. It has shitty rock music too. Oh my god. It's mini stand number 5. This has to be the worst infographic I've ever seen. Thanks for watching. Yes, the gaslighting music the nerd. Makes sense.
takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a
No.
lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
You made that in 8 minutes? No wonder it's so bad.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here behind the boss's office. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Okay. You are in the present. Wait.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye,
That's
memory zone.
trippy. Oh my. Okay, cool.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay, sure. Yeah, good night, Naya.
Okay, yes, the back of the boss's office. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
Is he losing his shit? Like, dude, why are you making me do this? The fuck?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes, I remember the dumb
Yes,
okay.
I love that.
That's a shit video, okay, buddy? I don't like that video. That is not a good video. I do not approve.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah, I agree. I like the room. Just not the fact that you're making me do this again.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Swear. Yes, 13 of 6. Yeah, totally.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it?
Because time doesn't allow.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh,
Alright, can I leave now?
Memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Nothing?
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Okay, Mr. Crazy Man, I'll do as you wish. Just let me go, buddy. Please.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic.
We do this
memory,
every
this one.
time.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Want me to go to
Was
work?
there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
They just have a
Yes,
stroke?
I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
Feels
Oh, but he
immediately.
truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling this story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay, this is the story of a man named Stanley. He's going to do cocaine.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley was a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Finishing him in 4 minutes 40 seconds.
Stanley
That's fine.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Chat, we went for the speedrun
Still
achievement.
no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Shit. Made
Coming to a
mistake.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
2845.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours,
Control V8.
did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Okay.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket
Okay, so
guiding
trophy
him?
888 has been
Yes,
obtained.
this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Hey, it worked. Yeah, I got the trophy 888 achieved. I thought things were getting better. I mean, things take time. So, I'm gonna take that trophy myself. Yeah, you can do it. It's pretty easy too. So,
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
okay.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Let's go.
Stanley and the
we
bucket
can
walked straight
make
ahead
it in
through the large
time.
door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oh boy, class chaos time. Yeah, pretty much.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being
Oh, so
videotaped,
it's good, everyone.
monitored like guinea pigs.
I'm doing
The
okay, I
bucket had
guess.
never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Okay, are we gonna make the times to chat?
But
Let's
here
see.
was the proof,
We need to
the heart
cut
of
down
the
on time.
operation. Controls labeled
We
with
lost like a
emotions,
millisecond on like
happy, or
the
sad,
on the
or
elevator.
content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and
Okay.
commanded from this very
Will we make it
place.
in time? Will
And
we
as
make
the
it?
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that
Did I do it? Was that within 4 minutes and 22 seconds? Loading times
Stanley and the
included.
bucket waited in blackness. Was it
Well, I think
over?
if I need to do it, I can't have the bucket with me. So, yeah.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket
I have
had
to do the
defeated their
original
greatest and
ending, I'm
darkest
pretty sure.
enemy,
So,
freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine.
they're trying for
Freedom
the
was
fast
now
ending.
mere
Yeah.
moments away.
You have to beat
Excited,
the game in
the two
4
of them began
minutes
to discuss the kind of life they
and
wanted to live
22
once they stepped
seconds
through this
exactly.
massive door.
Or sooner
The
than
bucket
4
wanted
minutes,
to learn
22
to roller
seconds.
skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
But I
Until
think
finally the
I
truth hit Stanley
I
square
cooked
in
this
the
run by
face.
taking
This
the
building
bucket
did
with
not
me
want
and
the
doing the
bucket to
888
leave.
thing. So.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no.
Oh, bucket,
Stanley
this is the
can't
end for
leave
us.
this place. Not while he has
Don't
such
worry.
a precious bucket in
I'll
his
protect you,
arms.
bucket.
Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Okay, so I need to do it without the bucket. I'm pretty sure if I wanna like get the true ending, and yeah, I just can't like make any mistakes. So I have to play this basically perfectly. Alright, let me start a stopwatch and everything. Cause I think it starts as soon as like I load in. Well, I didn't get
All
to
of his
start.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're about, I want to say 25 seconds in.
When Stanley came to a
30.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
40.
Yet there was not a single person
45.
here either. Feeling a wave of
50.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
Okay.
boss's office.
Making good time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Yeah, the run's dead. The run's dead because this happened. I didn't think this could happen again. brethren. I'm restarting this run. Begin the game again. Yes, I can't have my time being wasted. I need to be efficient and all of that, so. Okay,
All
so I
of his
stopwatch.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, by the way, that trophy is scripted. It is? Oh, okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Just keep doing that ending? Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs.
And eventually
to
the
his
narrator will
boss's
catch
office.
on. Oh, okay.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey,
Awesome.
look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay, we're 55 seconds in, so, yeah. Just as for bed, I thought he would stay home for a while. Well, he probably has to go get other things, so.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Without a permission slip, yeah.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee
For real?
in the
Yeah.
building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals.
He's been
reduced to
caught
images on a
jaywalking without a
screen.
hall
And
pass, you
Stanley,
know?
one of them, eternally monitored
Rookie-
in this
rookie
place
mistake.
where freedom meant nothing.
Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Okay, we're
Had
at
Stanley
2
really
minutes
been under
and
someone's
22
control all
seconds,
this
I
time?
think. Yeah.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
Yeah, we should have enough
that
time.
his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking,
Okay, we're at
eating,
3 minutes
working,
and
all of it monitored
6
and commanded
seconds,
from
7,
this
8,
very
9.
place. And as
Yeah,
the
we
cold
should be able to
reality
listen
of his
422,
past began
hopefully.
to sink in,
Honestly.
Stanley decided.
Okay. Speed it up. Narrator, speed it up. I need to get out of here before the 422 mark.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Listen, narrator, man. I don't have time for this,
Was
alright?
it over?
Speed it up.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other
Yeah,
mysteries
his
did this
talking
strange
is gonna
building
kill
hold?
my damn
But
run.
as
Like,
sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking,
Yep,
but happiness.
that's time.
Perhaps his... Goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Maybe there are only like
Stanley
this a few
felt the
times.
cool
Alright,
breeze
cool.
upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Eventually the
And
narrator
Stanley
will speed things up.
was
Okay,
happy.
okay. Yeah, because that one took like 5 minutes and 16 seconds, which you need to do it before 4 minutes 22 seconds. So, yeah. It's 4:51 is the fastest you can do it. I see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Eventually the narrator
Stanley
helps you
decided
cheat
to
a
go
bit.
up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's the door, just go.
Okay, so far so good. He's helping me a lot. So it is kind of interesting watching the narrator trying to or starting to figure out what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Feels like the platform came up a lot faster than it typically does, because usually it comes up like much slower. So
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all
whoa,
this
that
time?
thing is
Was this the only
flying down.
reason he was
Holy.
happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own
But yeah,
life
we'll
in
into the game a
someone
few
else's
times. This is gonna be
control?
kind of boring.
Never.
Yes.
It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
It was
Was it even possible?
implausible. It
Had
was
he truly spent
unbelievable.
his entire life
It was armor
utterly
abs crabs
blind
feeding
to the
people
world?
military bombs and pies.
But here was the proof. The heart of the
Wait, isn't that what he was
operation.
talking about for a minute there?
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
This part here is what takes the most time, so hopefully, this will start to speed up eventually, and you have the door go and just straight down. So the kind of slow
Blackness
opening
and
process
a
that you have to
chill
watch.
of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He
I
had
wanted him
defeated the
here.
machine. unshackled himself from someone else's command.
No,
Freedom
I
was
don't
mere
think Jeff has
moments
gone to
away.
work because, like,
And yet, even as the immense door
it's
slowly opened,
probably late at
Stanley
night, so he probably
reflected
went
on
to the
how
store to
many
get
puzzles
something.
still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do,
He'll probably be
or
back
how to
home
feel.
soon, so
Whatever life he lives, it
Just
will
wait.
be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
yada yada yada,
The feeling
bra
of
bra
liberation,
bra.
the
Alright,
immense
cool.
possibility of the new
Let's
path
do that
before him.
again. Hopefully
This
he
was
speeds up a
exactly the
bit
way,
more this time.
right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So that's the second ending that we've done. We reset the first one. We did the we then did it because he opened the door, and this is then the second one. So hopefully, like, when I get to that one room that you have to, like, kind of, like, activate the buttons, I don't have to, and they're already, like, activated, so I can just run through and add to the elevator, because that does take a lot of time waiting for the platforms to come up and all that, so it does take a while to...
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I'm full lagging it.
Yet
like,
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
open the door for me, please. Thank you.
Here's the door, just go.
Thank you. Okay. But I have... So he helps me on the first part, but I haven't really seen him give me much help on the second part yet, so I've yet to see that.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Still no help on the second part. Yeah.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't
Let me see if I
accept
could
it. His
find
own
it real
life
quick.
in someone else's control?
On YouTube,
Never.
like...
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided... blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not
Hey,
knowledge
Shadow,
or even
welcome to
power
the
that he
stream.
had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, so basically now I have to like restart the game until I get one of two hallways. Hold on. So there's like this blue hallway, that's one that you want. So you want to restart until you get that one. Since it's a shorter route and it like puts you right before the double door, so you don't have to do the whole like thing that you typically have to do. So we're just gonna restart until we get that one. Mm. Get in the game again. See, all that can like, nope, another mini begin again. But yeah, like it would be and I feel like it will be a detriment to my job. Well, mm, depends on how you think about it, you know? Like, could be a detriment, yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting any of the doors that I want. I need like that blue room to start them, but it's just not giving me the gate, the room at all. Just won't. I won't like the feeling of being in a constant state of exhaustion. Well, yeah, that's how insomnia is. So I mean, honestly, I need. Maybe it's because I'm getting old, but yeah, or older rather. But yeah, I need to sleep at midday most of the time. If I don't, I feel like a zombie later. So naps are very much required. It should be. So he just won't give me the door. Like, oh, okay.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this
So
door,
okay, I need
I
to quit
can
at
make
the
it through
bottom
them
of the
all.
elevator, from what I understand, and then I need to like restart the game from there.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
Okay.
entered the door on his left.
So it is a bit
Yet there was
RNG,
not a
but
single
that's what I have to
person
do
here
to
either.
get the
Feeling
room
a wave
spawn.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause and go once reach the bottom of the stairs, and that should trigger the narrator to spawn one of two doors.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave
This
of
one
disbelief,
felt way longer
Stanley
than the
decided
other
to go
one.
up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Okay, cool. Okay. So okay, I need to restart the game a couple of times because I need to get one of the shorter routes off spawn because these are just too long. Because you do need to watch certain cutscenes. There are certain cutscenes that are unskippable. But if you want to get like the main run, you need to get one of the shorter rooms because there's a short room that puts you right before the double doors. And if you get that room, you can just get the trophy immediately, you know? So you just have to walk as fast as possible. So you just need to like, just restart the game over and over and over again until you get the right route. So we may be here a bit until I get lucky and get the route that I'm looking for. In the game again. And there's another way that you can do it from what I see. But yeah. Like, I was wondering, hmm, is there a way that you can make that room spawn like the blue one? 'Cause seems like it's very RNG if you get that spawn. Because it is one of the possible spawns, right, Erica? But I'm not sure if like you can actually get it to spawn is one thing. It's like these hallways are just too long. Hmm. Let's just go for it, fuck it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
There's
mean?
one thing I thought that you
Stanley
can
decided to go to the
technically
meeting
do,
room.
but
Perhaps he had
not
simply missed a
really.
memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So I'll show what I saw, Chad, that I think could possibly work.
The lights rose on an
So you can,
enormous
like, kinda
room
do
packed
this.
with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought
And
to
I could do
himself.
that.
Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building,
No shit.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals
I can't
reduced
do
to
this one,
images on a
it's really
screen.
difficult to do.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
You can get up there, by the way, but like I can't mess
This
it up that many times. I
mind-controlled
seem to just get
facility,
up and get
it was too
across.
horrible to believe.
So.
It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only
So
reason he was
not
happy
good.
with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly
Oh, if you jump off the
blind to
platform, it
world?
makes the narrator say something.
But here was the proof.
Okay,
The
I may
heart
try
of the
that
operation.
eventually.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in,
You have to
Stanley
climb a
decided
desk
that this
first,
machine...
Yeah, but don't you have to have like a chair next to the desk, by the way, like the one that you climb on, because like the chair like boosts you up? Because like where the second button is, I don't think there's a desk near that second button, right? So you have to get up on the chair like in the corner and walk around that really, and I think jump down?
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
You can do it.
His goal had not been to understand.
You can do it on the first
but to
desk
let
in the
go.
facility. I think
No
it has a
longer would
chair.
anyone tell him where to go.
Yeah, that's why I
what
did
to
it.
do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
Yeah, I did on
it
the
will
first
be
one, by the way.
his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, I didn't get it that time. Oh shit, I got the door. Shit.
All of his
I didn't
coworkers were
realize.
gone. What could it mean?
This is what I
When
needed.
Stanley
Oh my
came to a
goodness.
set
I
of
might have
two
just,
open doors,
I'm,
He entered the door on his left.
I might have just threw the speedrun. I've been looking for this door the entire time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
That
a
is
wave
the
of
shortest
disbelief,
possible route
Stanley
I could have
decided to
gotten,
go
and I
up
just
to his
wasted
boss.
so much
Coming to
time.
a staircase, Stanley walked
Oh
upstairs
my
to
goodness.
his
Hopefully I
boss's
didn't mess
office.
it up. I may have to do that one shortcut just to make sure I get it in the nick of time.
Here's the door. Just go.
Ooh, boy. If you're gonna try, well, I was trying to figure out why I wasn't getting the door, because that blue door, the one that it gave me just now, I was trying to get it to spawn because it said you can restart the game until it spawns in, but it's RNG, I think. But I wasn't getting the door at all. So that's why I was like trying to figure out why I wasn't getting the door from my resets.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
But yeah, I think I
Mind
should be able to
Control
shortcut
Facility.
this part right here, so we should be fine. Maybe this will make up for the extra time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
shit.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature
I
revealed.
can't do this
Each
one.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
Can I go up
individuals
here?
reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true.
Well, now
Had
you know
Stanley really been under
it is
someone's
RNG.
control all this time?
Listen,
Was
I'm
this
easy
the
to
only
distract,
reason he
alright?
was
It's
happy
not
with
my
his
fault I have
boring job,
AD,
that his emotions had been
you know, like,
manipulated to accept it blindly? No.
not my fault I get
He refused
distracted.
to believe it. He couldn't accept
When it
it.
comes to
His
RNG based
own
tasks,
life
sometimes
in
that
someone
can be a
else's
bit
control?
tedious.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly
Yeah, I think
blind
maybe
to the
that shortcut
world?
should have made up for the extra time,
But here was the
hopefully.
proof, the heart of the operation.
I'm really hoping that it did.
Labeled with emotions,
Because if it didn't, I'm
happy
gonna be
or
so
sad
mad if
or
it
content,
spawns me in the regular
walking,
fucking room.
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
But as I
And
said,
as the
I'm not sure
cold
if the
reality of
thing
his
is
past began to
RNG
sink
or
in,
not, so I was
Stanley
trying to figure out if
decided-
it was.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Speed it up,
Was it
narrator
over?
man, please, please.
Yes, he had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would
Let
anyone
me
tell
go
him where to
right now. I wanna
what to do,
leave.
or how to
Please.
feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Let me go,
And that
let
was
me
all
go.
he needed to know. It was perhaps
Okay,
the
okay,
only
okay.
thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Please let me go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Did I get it?
The
I don't
feeling
think
of
I got it,
liberation,
but
the
maybe I
immense
did. I don't know.
possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Nope. Didn't get it. That's so unfortunate. I think it's because I was distracted at the start. Yeah, just reset until you're at the door, yeah. Yeah, so this is gonna be a bit boring, but you know, we can talk about things. So this weekend I watched The Boy and the Heron for my anime this weekend. I'm thinking I may watch like Totoro or something tomorrow or after stream. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be pretty fun. Yeah. But chat, like I want the Apothecary Diary season 2 to finish airing. I just wanna binge. Like I want to binge. Apothecary Diary season 2. Frieren season 2. Like I just wanna watch these damn animes. Like oh Totoro, it's a cute anime. I know. It has an interesting story when it comes to me, so I really do want to watch it again. Or well, I actually do want to watch it because heard about it and like, but I never like watched it. Watched it. There's Totoro and there's a few other ones that seem really really interesting that I want to watch. So, which are all Ghibli films. Yeah, the more Ghibli, the more better. I don't know why I still feel tired. Like I slept today. Like I actually slept a lot today, more than I expected to. But conversation topic. Think. Use your noggin. Okay. Yeah. There's a couple upcoming anime that I'm really interested in. Like Introduction to Mineralogy. Like y'all may not know this, but I like did like chemistry and biology and stuff. So I do very much like science, honestly. So I'm looking forward to seeing Introduction to Mineralogy. Also, somewhat recently, I like rewatched and like watched through all the new seasons of Doctor Stone, and I love that anime so much. Like, I guess maybe Doctor Stone isn't the best anime in terms of like feeling, and it has changed a lot from season to season as they get further, and this is a shorter hallway as
All
well.
of his co-workers were gone.
There's
What could it
also
mean?
another random hallway that
Stanley
you can
decided
get.
to go to the...
I was gonna show you like you can get this one with like the papers everywhere. It's kind of cool. Doctor Stonk or Doctor. But yeah, I watched like the most recent season, and yeah, things are really like ramping up faster than you'd like to believe. Yeah, we just haven't gotten this room. Like, this room is really rare because apparently there's the blue room and there's a room that's actually even shorter than the blue room. From what I've read and what I've seen, there's an even shorter room that you can get. But I've yet to see that room. Yeah, the game just does not want to give this blue hallway. Like, damn. Am I just that unlucky? And this right here is why, like, typically I don't think I can, like, do speedrunning for, like, a career because, like, having to do this for, like, hours on end, like, just, like, sitting, refreshing constantly until you get, like, a good spawn, like, it would be so stressful. Especially in a game where, like, you're trying to, like, get the fastest time. Because for me, I'm just trying to do it within the time necessary, but, like, yeah, I doubt I'm gonna ever speedrun any other game other than maybe this game. Because for me, it's more about the experience. It's about making content, making a connection, enjoying the game, making jokes about cannibalism and other things. Like that is what we are about, and we need to keep it that way. You can omit the last part. Pretend you didn't hear that part. That was my twin aunt that was, walking meatless dogs and folding dishes at 2 a.m. Listen. We will listen. Listen. Okay, we do. We listen. Okay, listen. Pretend you didn't see that. All right, cool. Yeah, we got a different hallway. Ooh, this is
Stanley came
really
to a set of
short.
2 open doors. He entered the door
Oh
on his
my
left.
goodness. Finally got a good spawn, actually. Let's go. That's
Yet there
crazy.
was not a single person here either.
So I
Feeling
think
a
that's a
wave of
shorter hallway
disbelief,
that they were
Stanley
talking about.
decided
That's
to
even
go
shorter
up
than the
to
blue
his
one.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, we should more than be able to do it in the right time now.
Here's the door, just go.
Okay, can someone listen, Shadow? Don't worry about no explanation, alright? What the hell does hus mean? It means husband. It's stupid. Like, I hate that word and I refuse to use it. I refuse to use that word, but it means husband basically. It's a stupid buzzword. It's just like,
Stanley walked straight ahead
the
through the
buzzword for
large door that
charisma. It's
read
just like the
Mind
buzzword
Control
for,
Facility.
being
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives
we
of so
saved a
many
bunch of time on that
individuals
skip,
reduced to
so
images on a screen. And
hopefully
Stanley,
things go
one
well.
of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant
Really?
nothing.
Yep, you can search it up.
This mind control
That
facility,
is the
it was too
deterioration
horrible to
of the
believe it
English
couldn't be
language.
true. Had
One
Stanley
buzzword
really been
at a
under
time.
someone's control
Yep.
all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions
Let
had
me
been
look it up. Okay,
manipulated
go
to
ahead.
accept
It'll
him
be exactly what
blindly?
I've told you.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Doesn't
Here
mean.
was a proof.
Now, what does it
The
mean?
heart
Because,
of
like,
the
I've heard people
operation.
use it in that
Controls
context as well.
labeled with emotions, happy or sad,
In
or
videos,
content.
especially. So,
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this...
it's a derogatory word. Yeah, boy.
blackness
Well,
and a rising chill
that's
of
the internet for
uncertainty.
you.
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Luckily, I would never
Yet,
even use that anyway,
even as
because,
the immense
like, I
door
just...
slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even
Right.
power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
Oh, I
but
looked
to
into it
live.
because I was like, the
No
fuck?
longer
But
would anyone tell him where
I
to
shouldn't even
go,
be
what to
surprised.
do, or
I mean,
how.
it's the internet. At the
Whatever
end of the
life
day,
he
the
lives,
internet is very
it will be
misogynistic. You
his.
should know this.
And that was all he needed to know. It was
Luckily, I don't get a
perhaps
lot of things like
the
that,
only
so
thing
I would have
worth
never
knowing.
known, but
Stanley
yeah.
stepped through
So
the
we have
open
another
door.
bannable thing if anybody ever comes in chat saying that. Ban.
Stanley felt the cool
Hey,
breeze upon
speedrun
his
trophy
skin,
earn. Let's go,
the
chat. We
feeling
got
of
it. Okay,
liberation,
finally.
the immense
That took
possibility of the
so
new
much
path
time.
before him. This was exactly the way,
Okay,
right
let me
now, that things were meant to happen.
let me
And
take
Stanley
that off.
was
So
happy.
we did the speedrun trophy, which was, I think of these all these, this one was gonna be the hardest one. So now we have to like the test trophy, but I'm not sure. Oh boy, your sisters again. Well, now I know what she's asking. Okay, well, in that context, then I could have probably figured it out because, like, you just asked it because, and I've like, I haven't really heard anything like that because, like, maybe I'm weird, but I try to stay away from particular things. So yeah, so I wouldn't have had any idea. But now, chat and moderators, that is a bannable offense. So if anybody comes in chat saying that type of shit, they can be banned for it. Yes, we have to update as the slang goes. So yeah, I'll be right back. Give me a minute. I have a few more things to do in the game. I want to do that test trophy one, but something tells me that will take a while to do. I have to do like the test trophy, set all sliders in the menu to all available numbers. I still don't know how to do that one. So like, I mean, I think I know how to, but if it is the way that I think it is, we're gonna be here for a little bit. So yeah. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay, chat. BRB. Hey, Erica, what do you think of that though? Like, I'm I'm kind of curious of what you think. Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, that's kind of stupid, but hey, what can you do? I think it's dumb as hell. Not even amusingly dumb. Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of sad, like, to see that the new generation still have buzzwords for terrible things. It's like, really? I know that tells me. I know, no offense, Shadow, but your sisters are extremely sheltered if they're making jokes about that. Because, like, yeah, but at least you have some sort of rationale about you, but you didn't let me finish my point. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because, like, they really don't understand that, women in general have to go through so much, like, discrimination when it comes to, like, any working industry because there's always going to be discrimination, right? And it's just like only when they start to deal with that type of thing, they'll understand that, this isn't a joke. And also, I'm gonna expand a bit on that as well, right? Being as someone who likely wants to do, like, as you can say, adult entertainment at some point, like, I still hate that we're at a point where, like, adult workers or, like, people who do, like, that type of work or sex work are kind of looked down on because, like, it's a job like any other job in the world. Yeah, I mean, you may have your own views and your own opinions, but it's not your body's work trying to set limits and tell people what they can and can't do, like, everybody's just trying to make a living at the end of the day and make it in a world where no things are very hard, so I thought we're just at a point where, like, you just shouldn't see that anymore. No, it's not just control, it's just blatant misogyny, that's all it is. Because most of the time when you think about it, it's always like men trying to set
All of his
women's
co-workers were
standards,
gone.
which is
What could it
stupid,
mean?
honestly.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But yeah, it is what it is. Things seriously need to change eventually. Because this isn't cool, nor is it sustainable. No, not really. Well, sadly, women are often participants. Yeah, that too. And that's why particular things really do piss me off, right? Because, like, it'd be one thing if it was, like, just one people, but when, some of your own people are the people, like, saying it too, it makes it even worse. Because then they're reinforcing the idea that this is okay to do. When I feel like universally women in general should be against and just like shut that shit down. Be like, okay, this isn't cool. No. Just draw the line there. And it's that refusal of like drawing that line that allows these types of things to like continue generally speaking. Women are people at the end of the day, and a lot of people are either dumb assholes or both. Pretty much. No need to give that shit any more attention. Honestly, yeah. You figure out what it means, you should immediately just not look into any more of it at that point. Like, you know what it means, you know what, connotations it has. I wouldn't want to know any of the rest of that,
When
so.
Stanley came to a set of two open
My
doors,
interest
he entered the door on
has
his
ended
left.
long ago. But yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
But I'm
wave
gonna
of
say, like,
disbelief,
I'm happy
Stanley
with what I
decided
want
to
to
go
do,
up
and
to
like,
his boss's
this is the
office.
thing, like,
Coming
mods,
to a
like,
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
to be honest, those are basically the same word, just with different connotations at the beginning. Pretty much, yeah.
Here's the door, just go.
Honestly, pretty lazy, even by buzzword standards, yeah. Like, what is it with buzzwords and just putting Z at the end, right? Like, that shitty word. Then you have raise and all this shit. Like it's just so shit. Like, ugh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Yeah, like
Facility.
it's all meaningless. And that's why typically I don't want to give it any attention, or I
The lights
refuse to
rose
like
on
use
an
any word from
enormous
like the
room packed
current,
with
I guess you can
television
say.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
It's just
This
lazy and
mind
it's just
control
uninspired.
facility,
Like,
it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be
because half
true.
of the slang
Had
that
Stanley
exists now,
really
it
been
doesn't
under
even make
someone's
sense, right?
control all
Like,
this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring
it's like,
job?
what
That his
is the
emotions had been
point
manipulated
of
to
half of
accept
these
it
words?
blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold
I have no
reality of his
idea who that
past
is,
began
but
to sink
sure.
in, Stanley decided that this blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
What is
Where
the
had
thing
his
I'm looking
co-workers
for?
gone? How had he been freed from the
It's
machine's
the,
grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
above the
But as
platform
sunlight
next time.
streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to
Okay.
him. For it was not knowledge
I
or
mean,
even
like, okay,
power
like
that he
hop
had
down
been
into the
seeking,
abyss,
but
like the
happiness.
blackness down
Perhaps
there. You
his
mean,
goal
like,
had not been to understand,
and not on like
but
the
to let
little
go.
thing.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that
All
was
right, bet,
all he
sure.
needed to know. It was
Off the
perhaps
desk. All right,
the
cool.
only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
How do I get to that area where like he showed like the hall and everything? Like, I need to go there. Make sure to do a flip. I don't think I can do a flip, but I'll try. Okay, I think I figured out how to do the trophy. Alright, chat, look at this. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at 100 or the max on everything here at least, and then we're just gonna turn it down to 0 and turn it back up to what we had. Okay, 5. Yeah, I think I have to do this manually. It's the worst part, chat. Like, go through every single number individually, because if I skip, I don't think it'll allow me to get the trophy. So, see if I'll head back up to 100 and then I'll reset it to 50.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
This may take a little while, so I hope y'all will be a bit patient with me. Sorry if this takes a minute, but we have to. Okay, back up to 85. Sure.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, after
This
this,
is
I'm
the
wondering what I
story
should
of a
play.
man
Like,
named
go play like
Stanley.
some power washing simulator.
This is the story.
I'm enjoying Zenless Zone Zero. Yeah, Zenless is alright. If you enjoy it, have fun though. It isn't a bad game. I can see why people like Zenless, but like, if you've played Devil May Cry, or even like in some key, you'll just like feel to play Devil May Cry, you know? I'm glad that you are enjoying the game though. Because from what I see, it is like, I can see why people enjoy the game because it's not a bad game, you know? But, yeah. 0. Hmm. Jovi still didn't go, like. Hmm. That's interesting. Because I've adjusted basically every single setting I could adjust, so. I mean, it's because I didn't go down to 0 on all of them. Why it's like, oh, you technically didn't set it to every possible one. I know I did everyone on this tab. Maybe I missed one on the prior tab. But no, I went down like manually with this one too. Okay. Okay. Let me go to settings, and the game's gonna go completely dead quiet for a little bit, and like everything's gonna look weird. But I'm just doing this for like, just like to understand everything. So no, I don't know who that is. Okay. The things I do sometimes for like, stuff for these streams, like, and I do these things mainly because I enjoy them for the record, but yeah. She's an S rank character. Yeah, I know none of the names of any characters in the Zone Zero, so.
This is the story.
7, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I see. It's not the worst design, but yeah, it's something. That's all I will say. She's fun to play. All right, that's good. Hey, Bahana Gahu's character. Definitely. Oh boy. Is there a setting that I'm missing or that I haven't seen yet? Because like those are all the settings like that change like a slider. And that's why I see like whenever I look on like anything when it comes to like, so it says yes, adjust and adjust everything on the sliders. I did adjust everything, but yeah, it's still bleg. Well, she's not the worst case I've seen in Zenless
All
Zone
of his
Zero. Yeah,
co-workers
she
were
isn't the
gone.
worst,
What
by
did
the
it
way,
mean?
but
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single
yeah, it's
person
humongous.
here
Hunger
either.
non nanga
Feeling a
no
wave of
logangas. Yeah,
disbelief,
pretty much.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
There's a
walked
maid
upstairs to
character
his
whose
boss's
name
office.
does I don't remember with fucking beach balls glued to her chest. Yeah. Yep.
Here's the door, just go.
And it's funny that some people are like, oh, this is an amazing design. It's like, no, it ain't. Must have a vibranium spine for that woman. Yeah, totally. And this is the funny thing, like, a lot of people may want to say, "Oh, you're such a prude," yada yada
Stanley
yada,
walked straight
but
ahead
it's
through
it's
the
not
large
just
door that
it's
read
not that
Mind
for the
Control
record.
Facility.
It's just it's not done tastefully. There's a huge difference between women designed by men versus women designed by actual women. Trust me. Right, let's sleep into the pit and see what
The lights
happens.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whee!
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see,
Yes.
back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Oh my
We
god, I
call
gotta.
this track, Good job, you've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Well done.
Hey.
You did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job. You
I'm grooving though.
Jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
That was a great song. That was well worth it. Like, I would always fall down to the bottom of there if I could hear that song, and that song was. That's a perfect song, like, absolute perfection. I would do that 100 times over. I mean, I was actually, like, vibing, though. Like, no joke, I was. Like, real shit.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But of course, they just give me this
Yet
shortcut
there was not
door.
a single
Like,
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase,
Repeats
Stanley
forever.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
yeah, pretty much.
Here's the door, just go.
But yeah, chat, what game should I play next? Because, like, I really think there's much reason doing Stanley Parable. I've done most of everything, and I've done, like, most of the achievements I can do on stream. I think I may try to do a few of the other ones off stream.
Stanley walked straight
Monster
ahead
Hunter.
through the large door.
It's been a
with
minute
red
since I've
mind
done someone,
control
so.
facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
Yo,
the
chat,
number
there's
of
one
an
more thing I
employee
want to
in the
show you real
building.
quick.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
I'm not doing
Still,
this
one
whole
of them,
thing,
eternally monitored in this place,
but,
where
like,
freedom meant nothing.
I didn't get this ending on stream, right? But
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions
So,
had been
yeah.
manipulated to accept it blindly?
we have to wait a minute for this to reopen, like, because I'm not gonna go up the elevator. I wanna go back that way, because there's something I want to show you that I didn't know about, and actually Erica told me about. So, yeah. Yeah, we have to wait a few seconds for the gates to reopen, because, like, you think these gates won't reopen, but eventually, after a predetermined amount of time, the gates open again and you can head back. And when you head back, if you head this way and you click on this button again, something quite interesting happens. Hey. It isn't. That's the point. You can tell I'm doing IRL by what I'm doing game, like I'm not even joking. The point is breasts, they do not float, right? They sag. And that's thing people don't seem to understand. Like, they are legitimately like pieces of protruding like flesh with like, you know, structure to them. So the point is that they won't just like stay up and be perked up all the time. They will sag, right? And they're very heavy. They're not light. They may look light, but they're not. And that's why women have to wear bras, because it causes back issues. If they're sagging constantly, they will cause you back issues.
Walking, eating, working, all of it.
So if you have gigantic boobs on a woman that's like very short, it won't make sense, because your body is proportional. Because if certain things are over proportion, then that could be life threatening, unless like you have like a unique disease or something that causes particular organs to have more growth than others. Then typically there won't be an issue like that where you see them growing to like very big proportions.
And a rising chill of uncertainty.
So if you gain weight,
was it over?
and plus that's the next thing too, like you realistically cannot be thin and have triple fucking G cups. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet,
This body also has body fat proportion to that.
Stanley
exactly.
On how many
Or proportional to that, yeah.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power.
There is one more ending that I'll show on stream, and then I think I'm gonna go play some Monster Hunter for a little bit, like maybe 2 hours or so. Because I don't know, I just want to play some Monster Hunter, really.
Would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Yep, Hansermonter. Or Hansermonter, yep.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Hey, I finally got the blue room I was looking for so many things. So there's one more ending I want to show you. So you need the bucket for this ending.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
So I showed you that one like little thing, and I want to show you one more thing. Okay, Chad? This last thing I'm going to show you from this specific game.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, but that character, she isn't too bad. At least from the art that you've sent, but these are not in-game images from what I can tell.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Ugh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
Alright,
horrible
Shadow.
secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never
Eric,
seen
I'm gonna
anything
send
like
you a
this, and it
message on
very nearly
Discord.
burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Alright,
No!
we're in the
He
elevator, we're heading
screamed into
back
the
up.
bucket.
Let's
He
get
couldn't
going.
accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
So yeah,
Walking,
the second
eating,
ending is
working,
where you
all monitored and
click
commanded from this very place.
to
The
like
full
turn it
reality of his
on, but
past
you do it
began
with
to
the
sink
bucket,
in.
and there's a
Stanley
really cool
decided that
ending
this
actually,
machinery
which is what I wanted
wouldn't-
to show.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley
no.
gasped in horror.
Bucket,
Had
you
this been
betrayed
the
me.
bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
I see a bunch of birds. Actually, those
Stanley
I've
flipped
seen these
through one
parts
video of
before.
silly
Those
birds
look
after
really,
another,
really cool.
And then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along?
It's a duck.
Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Ooh, it's
Stanley and the
owls.
bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible
This is so
paths his
calming.
life could have taken,
Ooh, that's a really
this
pretty
one
bird. I like
was
that
surely
bird.
the best.
So
Stanley
cool. Look at it.
Was happy.
It's a pelican. Or no, it's not a pelican, but it looks like a genus of pelican. Or like birds related to pelicans, I guess. But damn, I want to see more of those birds. Like damn. Oh, a spoonbill. Ah, okay, okay. Well, okay, that's everything that I want to show up on this stream, you know. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna end the stream and I'm gonna start another stream. Sonic, it's nice to see you, by the way. Um, well, I agreed it as see if I was being critical. Yeah. Name such because the speak looks like a spoon, yeah, true. Chat, like, this is the questions that keep me up at night. If an if an orange is called what it is based on its color, why isn't a lemon called a yellow? These are very important questions, you know. All right, I'm yes, and why is an apple not called a red? Okay, okay. Yeah, in all seriousness, though, that's just a joke. So yeah. Because lemons and bananas can never agree on who gets to be a yellow. Mm, true. One could be a short yellow and the other one can be a long yellow. You know, like easy, easy problems, easy solutions. Okay, okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end the stream and I'm going to start the next stream. So I'll see y'all there. So stay on the channel. You'll see another stream pop up in a few minutes and you can hop in then. And I'm going to do some Monster Running because it's been a while since I've played some Monster Runner. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Alright. Later, chat. Be back soon. Yeah, see you, Erica.